For 12 unforgettable seasons, The Big Bang Theory was the sitcom that brought nerd culture into the mainstream, a hilarious and heartfelt look at love, friendship, and science. But at the center of it all wasn't a scientist at all. It was Penny, the charming, down-to-earth neighbor who taught the gang about real life. Played by Kaley Cuoco, Penny became the heart of the show. Funny, flawed, and full of dreams. Fans around the world adored her, not just because of her beauty and humor, but because she was real. She represented everyone who's ever chased a dream, stumbled, and gotten back up again. But while Penny was winning hearts on screen, Kaley Cuoco's off-screen life was far more complicated, filled with heartbreak, personal loss, and battles that even fame and fortune couldn't fix. When The Big Bang Theory ended in 2019, fans assumed Kaley would move on to even greater success, and in some ways she did. Award nominations, new roles, and a reputation as one of Hollywood's most versatile actresses. But behind the success, Kaley was struggling. Failed marriages, mental health battles, and the crushing weight of expectations took a toll that few ever saw coming. In this video, we'll look beyond the laughter and see what really happened to Kaley Cuoco, from her rise as America's favorite girl next door to the heartbreaking struggles that changed her forever. This is the emotional story of Penny, and the woman behind her, who's been through far more than any fan ever imagined before. The Big Bang Theory turned her into one of television's most recognizable faces. Kaley Cuoco was already a seasoned performer. Born on November 30th, 1985 in Camarillo, California, Kaley grew up in a tight-knit family with her parents, Gary and Lane Cuoco, and her younger sister, Brianna. From the very beginning, Kaley's energy and confidence stood out. She was a natural performer, bright, outgoing, and full of personality. By the age of 6, Kaley was already working as a child model and appearing in commercials. Her parents didn't push her into fame. She found her way there all on her own. Acting quickly became her passion, and she began taking small television roles in the 1990s, appearing on shows like Ellen, Seventh Heaven, and My So-Called Life. She also landed small movie parts, including Virtuosity in 1995, where she acted alongside Denzel Washington. But her first real breakthrough came in 2002, when she was cast as Bridget Hennessy in the ABC sitcom 8 Simple Rules. The show, starring John Ritter and Katie Sagal, followed a father trying to raise his teenage daughters, and Kaley's comedic timing immediately shone. She was funny, relatable, and effortlessly charming. Everything a network sitcom could want in a breakout star. Tragedy struck in 2003 when John Ritter suddenly passed away during the show's production. The loss devastated everyone involved, especially Kaley, who had looked up to Ritter as both a mentor and a father figure. "He taught me everything I know about comedy and kindness," she later said. "Losing him so suddenly changed me forever." Though 8 Simple Rules continued for 2 more seasons, it never felt the same, and it was eventually canceled in 2005. Afterward, Kaley joined the final season of Charmed as Billie Jenkins, a young witch mentored by the Halliwell sisters. The fantasy drama introduced her to a new audience, but it was clear she was still searching for that one defining role, a character that truly reflected her warmth, humor, and real-life spark. Then came 2007. That was the year that would change everything. Kaley landed the role of Penny in a new CBS sitcom called The Big Bang Theory. The premise sounded unusual, a group of socially awkward scientists and their beautiful, street-smart neighbor. But from the very first table read, producers knew they had struck gold. Penny wasn't just comic relief. She was the emotional anchor of the show, the normal one in a world of geniuses, helping audiences connect with the quirky brilliance of characters like Sheldon, Leonard, and Howard. Kaley brought heart, humor, and authenticity to the role, making Penny more than a stereotype. She was relatable, flawed, and endlessly likable. Her chemistry with Johnny Galecki, who played Leonard, was undeniable. Off-screen, the two secretly dated for nearly 2 years before amicably breaking up. Yet they continued to play lovers on screen for years afterward. Their professionalism impressed fans and castmates alike. As The Big Bang Theory grew, so did Kaley's fame. The show became an international phenomenon, eventually drawing over 18 million viewers per week at its peak. By the show's later seasons, Kaylee was earning $1 million per episode, making her one of the highest-paid actresses in television history. But behind that success was a young woman under incredible pressure. Every interview, every red carpet appearance, every relationship she had became tabloid news. She smiled for the cameras, but as she later admitted, the pressure of perfection, of always being Penny, began to wear her down. Still, Kaylee pushed forward. She knew she had found her dream role, and she was determined to honor it. "Penny gave me everything," she once said. "She gave me my life, my career, and my voice. But sometimes when you're living a dream, you forget how much it costs to stay there." And for Kaylee Cuoco, that cost would soon come due. As The Big Bang Theory skyrocketed to fame, Kaylee Cuoco became the face of modern sitcom success, a blonde California girl with a golden laugh and perfect comedic timing. Every magazine cover, talk show, and award ceremony celebrated her as Hollywood's sweetheart. Yet behind that picture-perfect image, Kaylee's real life was filled with heartbreak, emotional exhaustion, and a deep sense of loneliness that fame could never fix. The early years of The Big Bang Theory were magical for Kaylee. She loved her character, her castmates, and the fans who adored her. But by season 4, the lines between her on-screen life and personal life began to blur. Her secret relationship with Johnny Galecki, who played Leonard, ended quietly, but their love story continued on television for years afterward. Kaylee later admitted that breaking up while still playing romantic partners was one of the hardest things she'd ever done. "We were deeply in love," she told reporters years later, "but we wanted different things. Still, going to work and pretending to be together every day, that wasn't easy." Despite the pain, both actors stayed professional, earning respect for their maturity and dedication to the show. But while her career soared, Kaylee's personal life took a darker turn. She began dating professional tennis player Ryan Sweeting, and after a whirlwind romance, they married in 2013, just 3 months after meeting. It was a fairy tale wedding, complete with a pink dress and fireworks. To fans, it looked like she had found her happily ever after. Behind the scenes, however, things weren't what they seemed. Sweeting's career had stalled due to injuries, and his struggles with addiction began to strain their relationship. Kaylee tried to hold the marriage together, but the pressure of fame, constant media scrutiny, and emotional burnout took their toll. By 2015, the couple had divorced, and Kaylee later revealed that she felt broken and unsure if she would ever believe in love again. During this time, she leaned heavily on her work. Penny's evolution, from a waitress dreaming of stardom to a successful pharmaceutical sales rep, mirrored Kaylee's own journey toward finding strength and self-worth. "Penny grew up when I grew up," Kaylee once said. "We both learned that life doesn't go how you plan it, but you can still find your way." Even with all her success, the pressure of fame began to suffocate her. The paparazzi followed her everywhere, from airports to yoga studios. Every outfit, relationship, or change in appearance sparked a new headline. When she cut her hair short in season 8, fans flooded social media with criticism, calling her unrecognizable. Kaylee admitted that the backlash deeply hurt her. Even though it was just hair, still, she pushed through the negativity and focused on rebuilding her life. In 2016, she met equestrian Carl Cook, the son of billionaire entrepreneur Scott Cook. Their shared love of animals, especially horses, brought them close. Kaylee described their relationship as authentic and refreshing, and in 2018, they married in a beautiful ceremony surrounded by friends and family. At first, it seemed like Kaylee had finally found her peace, someone who understood her passions beyond Hollywood. But even this relationship began to fade. In 2021, Kaylee and Carl announced their separation, stating that they realized they were on different paths. Despite the split, they remained on good terms, proving once again that Kaylee valued kindness and closure over bitterness. Through it all, Kaylee's passion for acting never dimmed. She began exploring more serious roles, craving projects that reflected her depth and maturity beyond comedy. That's when she found The Flight Attendant, a dark comedy drama that earned her critical acclaim and multiple Emmy nominations. For the first time, people saw Kaylee not just as a sitcom star, but as a powerful actress capable of handling emotional, layered roles. Yet even as her career evolved, Kaylee never forgot where she came from. She often credits The Big Bang Theory for shaping her life, both professionally and personally. But she also acknowledges that it came with emotional scars, the kind that fame can't heal. "I had everything I thought I wanted," she once said. "But sometimes having everything doesn't mean you're happy." Behind every smile on the red carpet, there was a story of endurance, of a woman who rose from heartbreak, faced the glare of fame, and still found the strength to stand tall. By the time The Big Bang Theory entered its final seasons, Kaylee Cuoco had everything most actors could ever dream of: fame, fortune, and a place in television history. She was earning over $1 million per episode, her name was known across the world, and her face was a symbol of the most successful sitcom of its generation. But as the cameras rolled and the laughter echoed through studio audiences, Kaylee's personal life was quietly falling apart behind the scenes. The fame that once felt exciting had become suffocating. Every smile, every red carpet pose, every interview felt rehearsed, a performance within a performance. She often said that she loved her fans deeply, but the endless scrutiny had a way of making her feel like a product, not a person. The pressure to stay perfect, funny, and likable all the time was wearing her down. By 2018, rumors began to swirl about the end of The Big Bang Theory. While many believed the show was still strong enough to continue, it was actually Jim Parsons' decision to leave that ultimately brought it to a close. For Kaylee, the news came as a shock. She admitted later that she cried for days after learning the show would end. "It was more than a job," she said in an interview. "It was a family. It was my whole world." As the final episode approached, Kaylee tried to keep her emotions in check. But when it was time to shoot Penny's last scene, she couldn't hold back the tears. The set that had felt like home for 12 years was suddenly just a room full of props and memories. When the director called cut for the final time, Kaylee broke down completely, realizing that a huge part of her life was over. The months after the finale were some of the hardest she'd ever faced. For the first time in over a decade, there were no scripts waiting, no call times, no Penny. Kaylee described feeling lost, unsure of who she was outside of the character that had defined her for so long. "I didn't know how to just be Kaylee anymore," she admitted. "I'd spent so many years being someone else." That emotional emptiness began to manifest physically. Kaylee suffered from anxiety and sleepless nights, often replaying memories from the show and wondering if she had done enough. The world saw her as confident and carefree, but behind closed doors, she was struggling to find meaning again. It was during this time that The Flight Attendant came into her life, a project that would both save her and nearly break her. Kaylee not only starred in the series but also served as an executive producer, taking on enormous creative and emotional responsibility. The role was dark and emotionally demanding, a woman spiraling into chaos and self-destruction. In many ways, it mirrored what Kaylee was feeling inside. Filming the series took an emotional toll. She often returned home in tears after intense scenes, saying that she had poured every ounce of pain from her real life into the character. But this raw vulnerability paid off. The Flight Attendant became a critical success, earning her Emmy and Golden Globe nominations. It was a validation she had longed for, proof that she was more than just Penny. Still, even with success, Kaylee's personal struggles continued. She spoke openly about dealing with depression and heartbreak after her second divorce. "I was in a dark place," she revealed. "I didn't want to get out of bed. I thought I'd never be happy again." What helped her heal, she said, were her animals, especially her beloved dogs and horses. They grounded her, reminding her that love doesn't always come from people, but sometimes from the creatures who stay by your side no matter what. Kaylee began using her platform to advocate for mental health awareness and animal rescue, finding purpose in helping others. Slowly, she rebuilt her sense of self, not as Penny, not as a celebrity, but as Kaylee Cuoco, a woman learning to live again. The public saw her smiling again. But this time, it wasn't forced. It was the smile of someone who had walked through fire and found her strength on the other side. After years of heartbreak, exhaustion, and emotional turmoil, Kaley Cuoco began to find something she hadn't felt in a very long time: peace. It didn't come all at once, and it certainly didn't come easy. But as she slowly rebuilt her life, Kaley discovered a new version of herself, stronger, wiser, and more grounded than ever before. Following the success of The Flight Attendant, Kaley didn't chase the next big paycheck or blockbuster franchise. Instead, she chose projects that spoke to her heart, stories about resilience, imperfection, and survival. She co-founded her own production company, Yes, Norman Productions, giving her creative control and the chance to tell stories on her own terms. This shift marked a powerful moment in her career. For the first time, Kaley wasn't just an actress performing someone else's vision, she was shaping her own. But beyond her career, what truly defined this new chapter of her life was self-acceptance. After years of heartbreak and failed relationships, Kaley stopped trying to fit the Hollywood mold of happily ever after. In interviews, she admitted that she used to believe her worth depended on finding love. "I thought I needed someone to complete me," she said. "But I've realized I'm already whole." Ironically, it was after making peace with being single that Kaley found love again. In 2022, she met actor Tom Pelphrey, known for his role in Ozark. Their connection was immediate and genuine, built not on fame, but on shared experiences and mutual respect. For the first time, Kaley said she felt seen for who she truly was. The two quickly became inseparable, and in 2023, they welcomed their first child, a daughter named Matilda. Becoming a mother completely transformed her. Kaley described motherhood as the most beautiful chaos, filled with sleepless nights, but endless joy. She often shares glimpses of her new life on social media, not the polished Hollywood version, but the real one: messy hair, tired eyes, and a heart full of love. "This is the happiest I've ever been," she said in one recent interview. "It's not perfect, but it's mine." Motherhood gave Kaley a new sense of balance. She learned to prioritize what truly matters: time with family, her animals, and her mental health. She's open about therapy, meditation, and surrounding herself with people who bring positivity instead of pressure. "I've learned that peace is better than perfection," she explained. "For years I thought I had to keep proving myself. Now I just want to live and be present." Professionally, Kaley continues to thrive. She's now one of the few actresses to successfully transition from sitcom fame to dramatic success. Critics have praised her range, noting how she's reinvented herself in an industry that often struggles to see women beyond their breakout roles. In 2024, she began producing and starring in several upcoming projects, each one reflecting her maturity and her ability to balance humor with heart. But despite everything she's accomplished, Kaley never forgets where it all began, that small apartment across the hall from Sheldon and Leonard. The Big Bang Theory will always be a part of her, but she no longer lets it define her. "Penny gave me everything," she once said. "She gave me my career, my friends, and so many lessons. But Kaley, that's who I am now, and I'm proud of her." Her journey from the bright-eyed girl next door to a woman who has faced and overcome immense personal struggles is nothing short of inspiring. Fans who grew up watching her laugh through life on screen are now watching her live authentically off-screen, embracing her scars and her story. Kaley Cuoco's story is no longer just about fame or success. It's about survival, growth, and rediscovering joy after loss. It's proof that even when the laughter fades and the spotlight dims, there can still be light on the other side of pain. So, if you ever wonder what happened to Penny from The Big Bang Theory, know this: she didn't disappear. She evolved, and through all the heartbreak, Kaley Cuoco has finally found something far more meaningful than fame. She's found herself.